Hey Mercy Hill. So like many of you, I was excited last week when the governor began to talk about plans of trying to open up the economy once again and return things to normal, whatever that new normal is going to look like. And in this plan, there seems to be three phases to it. The first phase is really talking about opening up things to 25% capacity. So that means stores and restaurants and churches alike can go ahead and have 25% of their maximum capacity really coming together at one time. So as we begin to talk as a staff about what that looks like for us here at Mercy Hill, we came to understand very quickly that that means that in any given worship service, we can have about 100 people. That would be 75 people gathering together in the worship center, 25 people meeting out in venue 2. There's other stipulations that go with that as well. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to follow the guidelines that have been set out by the state and local officials, as well as the suggestions made by the CDC. And so what that would mean is we'd have to still maintain social distancing as we came together. That means that each family unit that would be meeting together would have to have an empty row in front of them, an empty row behind them, 2 or 3 seats to the left, 2 or 3 seats to the right that would have to be empty to maintain that. Now, when we say 100 people here, that means adults, children, babies, everybody together, because we still wouldn't be able to open up the nursery or the children's church at all. We would all have to be able to meet together. So that's 100 people maximum. Again, to be able to really be able to supply services to be able to meet all the needs for all 700 people, that would be 7 different services, which is a lot. Even if half of our folks would come, that would be about 4 different services. Now, we're willing to be able to do that, except for there's other criteria that we kind of have to follow. One of the things we would have to do is probably come in and disinfect between each service, which would be quite a bit. Again, willing to be able to do that. The problem is we don't have enough cleaning supplies at this point for it. We have ordered those from a major company, and they're on their way, but we don't have them quite yet. And so there's some difficulties involved in all of this. I do know that there are other churches that have decided that in just a couple weeks they're going to begin to follow those guidelines. They're going to be able to meet together. But the truth is, for us, it doesn't really seem to work well. In part because we have a larger church but a much smaller facility. So if we had a larger facility, we'd probably be able to make it work. But at this particular time, we're probably just going to have to sit still. Just doesn't seem real viable yet for us to be able to take part in this first phase of returning things back to the new normal. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ask you to be patient with us. We're going to continue to still give the services on Sunday morning, all the other teaching moments that we have, from children to youth to Ryan teaching with the systematic theology class. So all of those things are still going to be available. We want you to be faithful with that. Now, one thing that we do want to suggest is that we are opening up some small groups cautiously. Again, the CDC and the state is suggesting that groups of no longer than 10 are able to meet together. And we understand that many of your small groups are much larger than 10 people. So here's what we want you to do. Get creative. You might have to break up into smaller groups within that group. You might have men meet one night and women another night, or meet simultaneously just in 2 different locations. But I think that getting back together in these small groups is really essential for the health of the church. That is to care for each other, to spend time with each other, to break bread together, as well as to be able to fellowship with one another and study the Word together. It's absolutely essential. So we want to encourage all of you to take advantage of that. If you're not in a small group, go ahead and go online and find a way to be able to get connected with another group now. It's absolutely essential for us to be able to do it. So we know that there's going to be different opinions on this. Some people certainly want to be able to get back now. I know I do. I know the staff wants to. The elders want to as well. But we do want to be cautious, and we do want to do what's best for the whole. So thank you so much for your patience in that. Continue to pray for us, for wisdom, for insight. I'm really hoping that this phase 2 comes quickly, and it will open it up a little bit more. If it opens up to closer to 50% capacity, I think we're going to be well on our way of beginning to meet, as well as post things online as well, kind of simultaneously, as we begin to kind of segue back into this new normal once again. So we love you so much. Again, continue to pray for health of our church, both spiritually and physically. And we look forward to getting back together again soon. We love you. We'll talk with you soon.